Welcome, Capricorn, to your weekly love reading for July 9th to the 16th of 2018. So as I'm shuffling the cards, you did have some energy where it was telling me to let you know that you have a decision to make for a lot of you out there with a romantic partner, whether or not to give them a second try, to wait, to bide your time, to forgive them and give them another chance. So that could be on your mind. That might be very important for you. All right, so let's see the overall energy. I'm going to shuffle a bit different, at least this week. Let's see. Messages for Capricorn. The overall energy and theme for Capricorn and love. So obstacles, and I feel like if someone else is in your way, if there are issues with your goals, your partner achieving or manifesting something, it's not happening maybe this week. So there is something in the way, something blocking progress. Let's see. Sometimes it indicates that we constantly do the same thing over and over again. So it means you need to strategize, maybe change something, or the way that you approach somebody. Maybe not approaching them, allowing them to approach you, maybe kind of biding your time and then seeing what happens. So keep that in mind. So let's see the energy of person coming towards you. Okay. That person is maybe letting go, all right, and it feels like they might want to let you go, or they might just need some space, and this is starting anew, or just not starting anew with you. So that could be the obstacle, because this is not being latched on. Nobody is really there. There's no beginning just yet, but this is kind of freeing your energy up, or the other person if you're dealing with an Aries for some. So that's what I mean by a decision, because there's nothing to hold on to. Everything is kind of falling away. So keep that in mind for some. Let's see the response. What is your response, Capricorn, for July 9th to the 16th in love? Death. All right. So your response is to make changes. What's happening, or what has been happening every time that you try to reconcile with a particular person? What happens when have you tried something different? You know, you have to ask these questions. I'm not asking you to respond and say, yeah, I have. Yeah, but there are other ways to do things, and sometimes it might take longer than you would expect or really want to. So I feel like this is part of a process that you are going through. Transformation for sure. All right. So many of you could be now, just for some of you could be dealing with the loss of somebody that you're still grieving, or your romantic partner, love interest, is grieving somebody, so they can't really provide for you what they want right now because they are experiencing at that loss. So this is really either starting anew or moving on from the past relationship, and until you do so, or until patterns change, this obstacle is always going to be there. So keep that in mind. Now the advice. What is your advice, Capricorn, for July 9th to 16th? Whoa. So this is a soulmate for some of you, and with soulmates it does require spiritual renewal, something that you really dig deep. You go through a lot of changes, you go through a lot of personal growth with that particular person, and whether or not you two come together, it really depends on how long it might take. For, say, if the universe is giving you a trial basis with a soulmate, so to speak, and say, okay, I'm going to try to put two people to get together because I know that they will benefit from experiencing a life partnership or relationship with one another, and I'll try my best to do so. But there is free will. There is your response, or which you allow someone to. You can't control what they do, but you can whether or not you accept something and address it or not, or allow someone to do something over and over again and you forgive them. Well, of course forgive them, but accept it and letting them back into your life. If that's something that you do all the time, that's where you really have to ask your questions about whether or not that's serving you or not. So the universe is saying, yes, sometimes you might be destined to be with someone eventually, but it doesn't always work out in that way. So I feel like this is part of the lesson, and letting go and making big changes. Sometimes you may really need to face a fear and let something completely in, and not, if someone is saying that they're going to leave and they really pack their bags up and go somewhere, it doesn't automatically mean that they're not coming back. They may just maybe even testing you or trying you to see how you might respond, and that's their way of manipulating a certain situation to keep the power, so to speak. So think about that. I feel like that's important for some of you with this combination. I don't always talk about it in that way, but if I'm guided to, keep that knowledge there. So let's see the outcome for Capricorn. Outcome. And it's not my knowledge; it's the universe's knowledge coming through from me. So let's see. Ooh, wait a minute. The Two of Wands is in reverse. Another energy. So issues with making plans, and then once you make a plan, you communicate it to a certain person, and they might listen, and then they kind of say, no, I don't want to move forward with that, I'm doing something else. They take a different route. That's part of the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands in reverse. So I feel like some of you are, either person might be having issues with traveling, and if that's the case, some of you might be putting an end to it because you say it's too much, or a certain person says, I can't really do that right now. But I feel like this week might be just a situation where you're having to bide your time. That's what it looks like to me. It doesn't look like a lot of activity, just to be honest with you. Let's see, messages. Let's clarify the Three of Wands in reverse for Capricorn. Because this reading is like this, what I'm going to do for you, all right, I'm going to do something different. Let's start out with the beginning of the week. Beginning of the week for Capricorn for July 9th to the 16th with Master Experience. So the King of Cups is coming through. When this person is coming through, or any person is coming up, that does indicate that they may be important, or this energy is important. So you might be around someone, you're thinking about somebody, and in a good way, because they're in the upright position, which is compassion. They may be the father of somebody's child. They may be somebody that helps you heal in some way, or just offers you some emotional advice of how to deal with your love relationship. So let's clarify the King of Cups, though. Let's clarify the King of Cups for Capricorn. Secrecy. Maybe that person is very intuitive, somebody that you are really attracted to. It doesn't have to be a water sign, but it could be anyone. And I feel like you dream about them, you think about them, you want to make a connection deeper with them, but there are obstacles there. And the High Priestess is showing up as 2, so a major issue. 3 major arcana is showing up so far. And anytime I see the Two of Cups, it's a minor arcana, but I see it as a major thing because it's a big, it's a really big connection. The Lovers with that, is soulmate energy, I feel, for a lot of you. And some of you might just be dating people or a certain person, and I feel like someone you really, really have your eye on, and somebody else not so much, because you might not trust them and they're still dealing with somebody else. And let's clarify. I'm being guided to clarify the High Priestess as well. Let's see. Yes, so you might be around that particular person, and they might disconnect because they need to party or they want to party, and you are very attracted to them in some way. And sometimes you might flirt, you might be able to communicate with them, but getting closer than they allow is an obstacle, I feel, for some of you. So that's what I feel. It's almost like the High Priestess is in the middle, so that's like an obstacle as well. Something or someone is becoming in between you. All right, so let's see. Clarify the Fool for the personal energy coming towards you. If you're not dealing with somebody, for many of you out there, you might not be dealing with somebody specifically, and if that's the case, that means that it's not quite time for you to manifest that particular person in your life, because you're still going through the death process and letting go and clearing out your energy of an ex-partner. All right, clarify the Fool for the person that you may be dealing with, for many of you. See, so yeah, if they don't have hope or faith in this connection, they disconnect. All right, they let go and they say that I can't deal with it right now, and I want to party. I want to just free my energy up. I need to heal, and it's not there quite yet. So that's what I feel like they might be doing. Let's see. Aries and Aquarius is showing up, and Scorpio. And clarify death. Clarify death for Capricorn. So yes, what needs to change is going through a process, biding your time, doing something else, and not giving into fear, anger, resentment, and holding on to it, because I feel that there is possessiveness, sometimes jealousy, in your situation when it comes to somebody. Even if they are treating you badly, you still have these feelings for them, and it could be them towards you, jealousy, possessiveness, but that energy needs to change when I see these combinations. All right, I feel like that's important, and don't assume the worst when it comes to this, because when death and the Two of Cups is showing up to me, it means it's like a renewal that's happening to bring you the person that's meant for you, or that's meant to experience you in some way. All right, so let's see what's going on with the romance angels for Capricorn for July 9th to the 16th. New love. Says a new person has stirred your romantic feelings, and I believe Scorpio had this as well, and the energy of Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer is showing up, so that might be part of the process for many of you out there. You might be dealing with a few scenarios where, again, release is required first before you are to move into something. Maybe you're dealing with somebody still that is needing to learn some things from how you deal with one another, and it still could be a new love interest. 1 year, maybe 8 months or so, 2 years even, it's still pretty new. So, and it might not be official just yet, because we have the High Priestess showing up. So dreaming about them, being around them, a distance being between you two, and that could be part of the obstacles. All right, so that's going to be a reading. I do hope that the messages did help you out. Tons of love, lots of light to you, tons of healing vibes. I wish you the best. And you can always go to the website, Psychicloveheals.com, to schedule something for you. And you know what? I almost forgot. I clarified certain cards, but I didn't. So in the beginning of the week, the King of Cups came out. And I want to finish this. All right. So the midweek for you, all right, as an extra, the midweek for Capricorn. So we do have the Lovers, and see, we was just speaking about that. That's a very powerful card. To me, I like the Lovers card. To me, it indicates a lot of happiness, choice as well, but something where the universe says there's some kind of protection that you have when it comes to somebody. It's going to try over and over and over again to pull you towards somebody that you need to experience a life experience with. All right, clarify the Lovers for Capricorn. Yes, and whoever this person might be, there are delays. So I spoke about things not really moving forward energetically or communicating to your partner this week. I feel like they either are ignoring you, you're doing that to them, or something is going on where somebody is just not communicating right now. So, not responding to the email, not responding to text messages or phone calls. So that might be an issue because of the fear of change, or the fear of making a big transition when it comes to traveling as well. So try not to get in your head, to assume the worst, and go through this transformation. All right, so that's going to be your reading. Lots of love, lots of light, and you can always go to psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for your energy. All right, have a good one.